Week 2 in the NBA is coming to a close. Guys are dropping like flies. I got 8 guys I want to be looking at on the waiver wire that can help us going forward, piece together some lineups so we can survive in fantasy basketball. Let's not waste any time. Let's hop into 8 waiver wire targets for fantasy basketball heading into week 3. Like I said, these guys are in no particular order. First 2 guys I'm going to talk about going to be for the Toronto Raptors backcourt, Grady Dick and Ochai Agbaji. Who's balling more than Grady Dick right now in the NBA? The orbital fracture for Scotty Barnes has really opened up some opportunities for these younger players. Grady goes from 26 minutes a night to over 34 minutes per game with this Scotty Barnes injury. He's made the most of it. He is a scorer at this point in his last 3 games, putting up point totals of 30, 31, and 22 points. So he's really picked up the volume, getting at least 17 shots in each of his 3 previous games. Not much of a facilitator Grady Dick is, but he is getting some decent steal numbers. Ochai Agbaji, not as prolific as a scorer as Grady is, but he is going to be giving you those defensive numbers. Agbaji averaging just under 1.5 steals per game and just under 1 block per game. He's always been a good defensive player from a statistical standpoint. At 6'5", giving you just under a block, you have to be impressed with Agbaji. So 2 different players here. If you're going more for the defensive stats, I would lean Agbaji in your category leagues. But in points leagues, Grady Dick, the way that he's been shooting, the volume he's getting, I'd be very excited to add both these players. Both rostered in under 50% of leagues. That will not last very long. I expect very shortly that number will climb for both of these guys, getting added minutes, added run in this Toronto backcourt with the absence of Scotty Barnes for the foreseeable future with that orbital fracture he suffered against Denver. Another pair of teammates I'm lumping together, profiting from some injuries on their team, Bilal Coulibaly and Alex Sarr for the Washington Wizards. Kyle Kuzma dealing with some injuries. He's been out lately. They still have Malcolm Brogdon out indefinitely. These guys have been profiting. Alex Sarr off to a slow start. Top pick in the draft. You'd like to see a little bit better out of him. But lately, he's been picking it up. So if anyone's dropped him or if he's available on the waiver wire, this is a guy I would love to add for the long haul in fantasy basketball. Sarr has been a defensive beast for this Wizards team. At least 2 blocks in each of his games played, averaging just under 3 blocks a game, where he's able to get 4 blocks in each of the last 2 games. So you're getting great numbers on that end. The scoring numbers haven't been great. He does have a career high last night against the Heat with 17 points. So the offensive production is going to come. This is a guy I just need to stash on my team if available. He's just too talented. He's looking better. Given some opportunities he's going to get, I think Sarr is definitely a guy we need to add if available. But Bilal Coulibaly, his teammate, also available in over 50% of leagues. He's getting you extremely productive numbers. 19 and 6 on the season to go, over 1 steal per game so far, with an incredibly high field goal percentage, I will add. He's gotten at least 30 minutes played in each of his last 4 games, and he scored at least 22 points in 3 of these 4 games as well. So he's making the most of his opportunities. The volume and production is available in the early portion of the season for a young guy in Coulibaly and Sarr. 2 guys, if available, I am very excited to add. You're looking for blocks, maybe lean Alex Sarr, but Coulibaly is doing it in a number of ways right now. So, love both of them. My next guy, Christian Braun for the Denver Nuggets. I don't want to spend too much time on him. We did have him on our must-adds from last week, but he's still rostered in less than 50%, so I threw him on again. Still, he's playing big minutes for Denver. He's their starting shooting guard. A Jamal Murray concussion has elevated Brown's status here, but consistent numbers across the board, getting you around 16 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. The defensive numbers good as they currently are. 1 steal per game, over a block per game. I don't expect the block number to stay there, but still, over 2 combined blocks and steals a game, looking good early in the season. And the percentages are off the charts for his position. 52% field goal and just under 90% from the free throw line. Also going to add some threes. Also going to add some poster dunks on Rudy Gobert. Still thinking about what Christian Braun did to him. So if available, I do expect his role to continue, even with Jamal Murray coming back from that concussion eventually. But in the short term, I do expect some elevated production from him. Another pair of teammates I'm lumping together, Scottie Pippen Jr. and Santi Aldama for the Memphis Grizzlies, dealing with so many injuries right now for that team. Most notably, Desmond Bane and Marcus Smart are considered a week-to-week. They're going to miss probably 2 to 3 weeks here for the Memphis Grizzlies. And I think these guys have an opportunity to step up and have a big role. Scottie Pippen, maybe an assist guy, really what you're looking for from him. Double-digit assists in 3 games so far this season. Pretty impressive. Good percentages to go along with a steal on a nightly basis for Pippen. If we can see him control a little bit more of the ball with these backcourt guys injured, Pippen's going to be giving us near double-digit assists alongside John Morant. I think he's a guy we have to look at if we're in need of some backcourt help with some of these injuries. But definitely more of a short-term play than a long-term, as some of these other guys might have some longer-term value. Pippen, definitely just a short-term. With Santi Aldama, I also think this production isn't going to last much longer than these guys are missing time. In 3 of the last 4 nights, Aldama's getting 33 minutes of work, posting near double-doubles in 3 of these last 4 games with some of these injuries. So I think these guys both look to profit from some injuries for this Grizzlies team, but definitely not something I can expect for the long portion of the season. But somebody I am getting in my lineup if I'm missing some of these other players. Last guy on my list, Jordan Hawkins for the New Orleans Pelicans. Kind of a continuing trend here. I mean, the guy, NBA, people are falling apart right now injury-wise. Jordan Hawkins profiting from the Pelicans backcourt, decimated at this current moment. We're talking about 4 big players for this New Orleans Pelicans team missing in action. DeJounte Murray out for a number of weeks with that hand injury. CJ McCollum now out, Herb Jones out, and Trey Murphy all sidelined for this Pelicans team. Jordan Hawkins, let's not forget, this is a first-round pick Hawkins is from Connecticut. Last 2 games, 37 minutes per night, 19 field goal attempts, averaging over the last 2 games as well. This guy's really just a points and threes streamer. But in the meantime, with these guys injured, I mean, who's controlling the offense in New Orleans? Who is playing point guard for this New Orleans team? I guess Point Zion is back, but they need to put 5 bodies on the floor. And right now, with McCollum, Murray, Murphy, and Herb Jones all out, Jordan Hawkins, former first-round pick, I expect to jump into that role as he has the last 2 nights. He is dealing with a back injury. We have to monitor that as well. So maybe Jose Alvarado gets some added run. But if Jordan Hawkins is to play tonight and in the near future, I think he's a guy we need to be looking at with these guys out for the foreseeable future. That's going to do it today for my waiver wire targets. We had 8 guys today, given all the injuries we are dealing with right now in the NBA. We started out with Grady Dick and Ochai Agbaji. Then the young talented players for the Washington Wizards, Koulibaly and Sarr. I think they are on the rise. Christian Brown, we talked about last week, but still rostered in less than 50% of leagues. The Grizzlies players profiting from Desmond Bane and Marcus Smart missing time with Santi Aldama and Scottie Pippen Jr. And finally, Jordan Hawkins for this Pelicans team, 3-point shooter. We expect to get some added volume with the injuries in that backcourt as well. Let me know what you think. Which of these guys are available? Who are you valuing most out of this list? And if there's somebody I left off this list that you are adding in your leagues, let me know in the comment section. Thank you guys for watching. Hit that like button and subscribe if you want to see more fantasy basketball content. That's going to do it here for the Fantasy Birds.